Hey Gemini, this is your November reading, and before we get to November, let's just talk about what's been happening recently. The end of October seemed like a lot of start-stop energy. You have the Ace of Wands in reverse. This can kind of go from a go ahead, upright, thumbs up, let's go for it, to this like false start energy. So maybe you did have some sort of a false start on something in October, Gemini, late October coming into November, and it could have looked like just like a cancellation of plans, but whatever this start-stop, false start that you got off to, you have come back to the drawing board now. So this is the Knight of Pentacles. This is talking about taking your plans further, yes, but you have to go back to the drawing board essentially, and you have to do some more research, and you have to put a plan into place as to how you're going to get your end goal basically. So stop start, false start, cancellation of plans, and we're back to the drawing board. But then we've got our first major arcana card, and it is the Hermit card. Together with the Knight of Pentacles, you may be dealing with the Virgo recently, and they are in some way involved in your endeavor or in your plans themselves. You might be just taking the Virgoan approach, which is more of a step-by-step, analytical, careful planning kind of mode. I do see you back to the drawing board in a bigger way and figuring out your next steps now for the month of November. After something slightly derailed, I'm sensing. The Hermit card is a card of going deep within and figuring things out. The message with the Hermit is, though, Gemini, you do have all the answers within already. You actually don't need to outsource anymore. You don't need to ask anybody else their opinion or what they think or for help at this time. It's telling me that the answers that you need already lie within. It might just take a little bit of quiet time to figure this out. This is a past energy, so perhaps going into November, you do have a clearer vision of what it is you want to do, and you've done your research, and now you can start to implement those plans again. So the stop start might have been for a reason. We'll clear it up and see what comes up, because there might have been something that you needed to realize, or just some further research or planning that needed to happen before this could really take shape. So as we go into November, I get the sense that there are some challenges to overcome in the month of November. The Seven of Wands in reverse and the Seven of Cups are showing up. Now, while sevens are a number of magic and progress and manifestation, they are also representative of challenges that we need to overcome. They represent a time in our life where things have been going very, very smoothly and very evenly and harmoniously. And then when we need to take something to the next step and really transform what we're already doing into something more, we're met with some obstacles, of course. So there is a sense of uneasiness for you and a hesitancy this month. I think some of you are wanting to leave something behind, and there is a sense of Eight of Cups, Lord of abandoned success. There is a sense that you have to abandon something perhaps, and it could have been the plans that you had been making, and in October something stopped your plans or you had a false start. And now you're kind of like uneasy about how this could go. You're not feeling super motivated to take up the challenge to further this, since it didn't really just go well on its own, you think. So there's a part of you that wants to just walk away from this because it feels disappointing to you perhaps. We'll have to clear it up. The Seven of Cups is telling me that you're not fully sure about if you should leave this behind or not. Something is telling you to just like, screw it, I'm just leaving it, I'm not doing it. But you're confused because you're kind of daydreaming about this thing, and it is something that you want. It is something that you believe is right for you. So there is some confusion there and some messiness this month. There is hesitancy for you to either commit to something or to finally say, I'm going to step away from this. So as we end the month of November, after the full moon on the 19th, we're going into late November, December at this point. Temperance card. The sun will have moved into Sagittarius, the ruler of this sign. And I believe that is happening this year on the 21st of November, but it's always in and around the 21st, 22nd of November that the sun moves into Sagittarius. And at this point, you're going to start to experience perhaps like either difficulties with someone that you are very close to, and the relationship is just like not very harmonious, and there's some conflict there, and like some people not being on the same page, and it's difficult to reconcile an energy at the end of the month. You're hoping that somebody can come in and help you here. You have some sort of a motive, Three of Wands in reverse, that you want to further, and the Three of Wands upright talks about a Lord of established strength, so like strongly pursuing your goals and motivations. When when it reverses, it is in a sense blocked, and you want aid here and you need some help to get this done basically. But at the same time, it's met with some sort of resistance from another, or like a lack of harmony in your personal life. But you're hoping that you have some sort of an ulterior motive by the end of the month, and you're kind of calling in your people that you need to help you here. I also sense that this is the turnaround of any uneasiness or any hesitation on your part, and you start to become clearer of what it is that you want to do, clearer of your dreams too. The Hierophant is the last card and our other major arcana card here. So you might need to just like get some help from like a teacher, a mentor, somebody that is very well versed in the field that you're looking to break into, or in the field that you're like trying to compete in. There is a sort of guru energy here, or like there's like a rite of passage that has to be made. Like that could look like even just a course or something before getting to the final step in what you need to do. But I do see you linking up with somebody, it could be a Taurus, that is able to give you the motivation and like tell you what's what basically, and you feel you really respond well to that. So let's clear up these cards together, Gemini. Let's clear up the Ace of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Hermit card. So let's look at what the nature of this false start was, and then look at how you've been making plans since that. We've got the Ten of Swords in reverse, which is the Sun in Gemini. We have the Sun motif here and Gemini, your symbol. So this is related to you, of course, and then the Emperor. All right, so this stop-start, the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Swords in reverse, you got a real sense of defeat here. This was like a huge cancellation of your plans, or like at least like you felt very defeated mentally. The swords are a mental suit, and you just felt like this was going to ruin you potentially, that there was no way to overcome this. And you have started to see now, as the Ten of Swords reverses, that light can break again, and you can see a glimmer of hope now, and you can see a way out. Now, it does look like it's difficult for you mentally to bring yourself back to putting in this effort again, or even to bring yourself to look at this, focus on it like the Hermit, and to do some internal reflection. It's difficult for you to get yourself there, mentally psych yourself up to even revisit this, but it is happening as the Ten of Swords reverses. It mightn't have fully happened yet. We might have just reverted back to the Nine of Swords for now, or hopefully the Eight or Seven of Swords. But for now, the reason that you're back to the drawing board and you want to put these plans in place is because the Emperor, you want to be your own boss. Some of you want to do your own thing. You want to just not have to answer to anybody else and put your stamp on the world basically. You're okay with how long it's going to take you. You know that it's a work in progress. The Knight of Pentacles and the Hermit card is slower energy. It might tell me as well that Gemini, after this sense of defeat and like ruin, Lord of Ruin, the Ten of Swords, it's very fatalistic sounding here in this deck. You just really found it very difficult to find any mental motivation to get this going again, because essentially it's been cancelled on you. Some of you may feel you're being cancelled right now, and you're like, oh, I need to go within and I need to just figure out my own shit. I have all the answers within. And the Emperor is making you more motivated again, because the end goal seems to be like you know, being your own boss, working for yourself, not having to answer to anybody else, just taking up space in the world, maybe going into a bigger position of leadership, management role, or some sort of a team lead coming through, Gemini. Let's have a look at the Seven of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. What is all of this about? You have a dream that you spend a lot of time like daydreaming about, fantasizing about, but it isn't concrete yet, and you don't even know if it can be. And there's a part of you that wants to just like leave something totally behind, focus on something else now, take a different route, something like that, but it hasn't really become clear to you as to how this can even happen. The Nine of Cups, very happy card, Lord of material happiness. And the Moon card, this is very Piscean energy, the Moon card and the Nine of Cups. You might be dealing with the Pisces in November that I suppose you feel like, especially if this Pisces was involved in this endeavor of yours that kind of got off to a false start, you do see their role in it as something of a disappointment, or the fact that they didn't stick it out with you. That's coming up for me for some. If it isn't a Pisces you're dealing with, or another water sign like that you feel some disappointment about, you are torn between the Eight of Cups now and the Nine of Cups. Oh, and we have the Seven of Cups here. This is a nice step. We break free of an illusion that we've been holding on to in the Seven of Cups. We might have to go back to the past a little more and reflect and say, okay, maybe that just wasn't meant for me. Maybe there's something that is more in alignment for me. And you then abandon what you thought was meant for you. Lord of abandoned success, Lord of illusionary success, because maybe that success that you thought you were going to go ahead with wasn't really all it was describing it, like it wasn't what it said on the tin basically. You looked a little deeper, and in November you continue to get to the bottom of something, Venus in Scorpio. So you really have this urge and desire to scratch the surface, figure out what that was really all about, what it meant for you that didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. And then from there you see, okay, that probably wouldn't have made me as successful as I wanted it to be. Maybe there was something like hidden around this. The Moon card energy is very hidden and very unknown. So that's where I do see you this month, November, Gemini, just trying to sift through murky, messy energy. The Seven of Cups and the Moon card can be kind of darker and confusing, overwhelming emotionally, uncertain and very unclear. So I do get that sense this month, but then there is this glimmer of the Nine of Cups, Lord of material happiness, being very fulfilled in what you have, and it all starts to make sense, even though I do believe in November there's still a huge question mark for you as to what's next. Perhaps where are you going with this? If that didn't work out, then what will? And you're just kind of trying to figure that out. I think researching will be super important for you. It probably has been since October. It probably will continue to be, because it doesn't seem like you have the answers fully. So the 9th here, the 18th, 19th of the month, there will be a full moon in Taurus. So if you're a Gemini sun with either Aquarius or Capricorn rising, there might have been a recent desire for you to spend more time in solitude. This is the Hermit, spending more time on your own. It doesn't seem like you've recently been feeling very sociable, Gemini, and it doesn't seem like, especially for those with like a Capricorn or Aquarius rising, where Venus will have been in your 12th house and is moving into your 12th house. For those signs, that's what's been happening astrologically for those rising signs. But I'm thinking that you just overall want to spend more time alone and figure out what it is that you really want, and breaking free of any illusions that you thought were going to bring you success. And as a result of that, you do start to feel a bit more happy, more content and satisfied with what you already have. So let's look at these Temperance card in reverse with the Three of Wands in reverse and the Hierophant here now. The full moon, before I get there, the full moon on the 19th of November, the Moon card energy here, is going to represent some sort of a culmination or turning point in your life. And that will probably show up for you, Gemini, in whatever house Taurus occupies in your birth chart. That is where that full moon, turning point, ending, culmination energy is going to show up for you on the 19th of November. So check out your birth chart, see what house Taurus occupies. That's probably the area of life where you may feel this the most strongly. That's going to be different for every person, of course. The Temperance, the Three of Wands in reverse, and the Hierophant. We've got the Queen of Cups in reverse. And we've got the Eight of Swords in reverse. I like that we're getting to the Eight of Swords in a sense, from the Ten of Swords in reverse to the Eight of Swords in reverse. We skip a lot of worry that way of the Nine of Swords. That's not showing up here now. So by the end of November going into December, I think you can see a little bit clearly why this all happened for you and why there was this false start or stop-start energy in October. It makes a bit more sense then. It doesn't exactly make you happy either, though. It seems like it's now possibly that the potential is here for this to cause a little bit of strife in your intimate relationships. In reverse, the Temperance card is telling me that you're not in flow with the person you want to be in flow with. You're not in sync or on the same page here. You are hoping that somebody's going to just come in and help you out of your situation or help you achieve your goals. And this might be like a mentor or something like that. It does seem like you are kind of sulking by the end of the month, like kind of like in your feelings a lot. Like it's very hard for you to get out of this sort of negative thought cycle of the Eight of Swords, where you're like kind of having self-limiting beliefs and beliefs around like the connections in your life, and you simply just don't feel emotionally connected to the friends and family members around you or your partner. It seems like something is a little bit off here. It might be something that would be worthwhile, like checking in with your body here in the Hierophant, like trying to be a little more present, keeping off your phone, keeping from like constant stream of noise coming in, just coming back to your body, not always overthinking. I know this is difficult for a Gemini typically. There's your Mercurial, you're an air sign, so there's a lot of mental stimulation for you all the time, Gemini. You're always thinking, you're always analyzing, you're always communicating, and your curiosity really knows no bounds. But this month, in November, particularly the end of November going to December, I think it might be wise just to go back to that hermit mode if you need to. Just take a little bit of time out. You're not seeming like you're fully on the same page with everybody else this month, and you just don't feel like people are getting you. There is a disconnect here between people that usually you would be very close with, and this is aggravating you a little. So it might be wise just to back to the drawing board again. I know we've been spending time at the drawing board recently, Gemini, and it might be a little frustrating, but you're still not 100% sure at this point, I don't think, about what you want to do, first of all, how it will even turn out. And then as a result, it seems like some of your personal relationships are taking a little hit here. All right, Gemini, that's what I've got for you for November. If you want to know about your personalized astrology, find out your rising sign, head over to my video on my YouTube called Scorpio Season November Astrology. All of the rising sign astrology is time-stamped at the bottom of the video in the description box, so you can skip right ahead to your rising sign and find out what transits you're going to be experiencing in November. See how they add up for you. I would really appreciate hearing from you guys in the comments if any of this resonated, especially if any of the astrology or anything resonates either in the other videos if you choose to watch them. That's going to be it for now, Gemini. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.